Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
A few different items that are for sale now, new merch that wasn't available before, a whole new line of things like I Heart Regina caps, as well as mugs and t-shirts. And I mean, yeah, it's called kind of very I Love New York, which we're very aware of. But the one thing that does stand out, that everybody's going, hey, what, huh? Scratch your head a little, is a couple of scented things. One's an oil diffuser device and as well a signature scented candle that Tourism Regina has now revealed, so that people can take home the memory as well as the scent of their favorite city. Or, you know, the city they just spent a week visiting mom at or something. But what does, the question is begged, what does a candle that smells like Regina smell like? No, I'm not talking about the Gwyneth Paltrow one. Different smell, different scenario. That's from Goop, and it's probably a whole lot more money. But this one, they say, is beautifully crafted with a few different important scents that are meant to just evoke the warmth and charm of the city. Blended sage with lavender, cedar, and vanilla. Sounds really nice, but it sounds like every third candle on the shelf, you know? Like, what's unique about it? I don't know. Haven't smelled it yet. Not gonna get my hands on it anytime too soon, I don't think. But if anybody does have the scent in hand, they've gotten to Regina in the last 3 days. Oh, wow. What a coincidence. Tell us what the heck that smells like. The popcorn bucket wars are continuing, and they're hitting a battery-powered fever pitch right now. One chain on the States just announced one coming for the Jurassic Park Rebirth movie with a full dino mutant in I guess supposed to look like it's like a liquid-filled test tube thing. That's where the popcorn goes, so you're kind of like having to eat around the dinosaur as you're trying to reach it. But the thing is, it also comes with a little slot on the side, all one package where your drink is going to slot into as well. Probably a gigantic branded drink cup that you're going to, keep forever but barely ever use. That kind of thing. Kind of cool, bit cumbersome, seems like a big deal, and of course the battery-powered part of it is it lights up, much like one that I just saw that was released for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, where, yeah, of course the outside lights up. It looks like it is a device that is holding something, and of course you got to get into it with keys. Pop the top, there's two different keys, they slot together just like in the first Dead Reckoning movie, and you use that to pop the top of your popcorn thing open. Okay, at this point, I'm just frustrated. I just want to get into my popcorn. Also, it's a movie theater. Why are things lighting up?
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
The All-American Rejects, they've been doing an interesting thing. Big major band, but they've been playing parties, backyard gigs, legit, just like in people's backyards right beside their pool and everything in America. And this is interesting because the people that are at the age of having house parties like that probably didn't listen to a ton of All-American Rejects. They were probably too young way back when, but still, they've been having some success. However, at one of the recent unconventional located shows, the cops had to come down and shut it down. The police said, it's got to be done. However, one of the officers responding did say that they used to listen to the band a lot while in college, and allegedly they were allowed to play one final song instead of just getting it shut down abruptly. I do hope that's the case. That's a cool story. Guided by Voices, who released an album already this year, their 41st album, Universe Room, came out earlier in 2025, and there's been some rumors in the fandom since that came out that, are they breaking up? Is there trouble? Is there drama afoot? Well, they've answered back to all of those rumors by saying, actually, we're going to have a second album out in 2025. Thick, Rich, and Delicious is the title of their 42nd album, out on Halloween of this year. Billy Joel has unfortunately had to step away from touring and making music because of a diagnosis with a brain condition called normal pressure hydrocephalus, and what this does is it really affects problems, makes problems with hearing, vision, and balance, and therefore, day-to-day life becoming a bit of a challenge. But he says that he's dedicated, committed to making a full recovery after that diagnosis, and cannot wait to get back to what he loves doing best. That's it for your music news headlines this morning. You don't want your theater to start Final Destinationing as you are watching a Final Destination movie. You don't want that to happen. Apparently it did. Now, I did see a photo floating around of a collapsed ceiling from a movie theater. People saying, it's a Final Destination. Well, I actually also saw the exact same photo with Twister saying, a Twister had hit the theater during Twisters. And that didn't happen either. Actually, it was at a Captain America screening. The New World. It was a different thing. But it did happen. And this is a different case where a different theater did have a piece of the ceiling fall down on the people watching the movie. And that movie was Final Destination Bloodlines. It was in Buenos Aires just recently. A woman named Via Verde, she said that it was her birthday, of all things. They were walking and went to the movie on a whim because apparently the theater had discounted tickets for the week. A promotion was on. So they went in, got popcorn, walked into the theater, show just beginning. Everything seemed normal. And then there was sounds coming from up above. It was kind of hard to determine, I guess, if it was from the theater or from the speakers in the theater playing the movie. And then a big chunk of ceiling fell on her. In fact, apparently she was also just leaning over the armrest at the time. There's video of the aftermath where she was struck going to the hospital because of injuries to her shoulder, to her arm, and a little bit of her neck, but just missing her head. Scary thing is, it's the Final Destination movies, which means that if you dodged the worst possible outcome, maybe it's coming after you. Obviously, they're just movies. It doesn't really happen that way, but you'd be watching over your shoulder for another year, I think.
Tuesday.
A Reddit poll from forever ago is getting dredged up again, but you know what? I'll bite. It's that time of year. In this highly non-scientific poll, about 36% of people, about a third, said that they were fine with slathering sunblock on a stranger at the beach. You know, if they asked, not just showing up out of nowhere like a bet, like a dare. Yeah, go hit their back with sunscreen. No, if somebody's like, hey, can you get the spots I can't reach? You know, on one hand, it's not like that big of an ask, and it's in the name of skin health, and it's kind of a common thing. Everybody around's got their sunblock on, and on the other hand, it's kind of personal. I mean, as in that's somebody's person, and you'd be getting your hands on there, and, you know, some people can be a little gross, right? I mean, the idea of just like a stranger being around, you don't know. So, I'm not against it. Someone's asking me to hit their back with some SPF, hypothetically. I'm not saying no right away on principle. I'm going to assess how attractive they are and respond accordingly. Rod Stewart in the news. He is just ahead of going to Glastonbury, but beforehand, he was celebrated with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the American Music Awards and even performed Forever Young at the show. It's back after a 2-year hiatus, and while there were a ton of people in the audience, it was noted that a lot of the nominees were not actually present at the AMAs for this round. Bryan Adams in the news because he is taking over for the Wombats. They are out as headliners for Friday at the festival, Sheffield's Rock and Roll Circus for 2025. He's going to come by and save the day. Bryan Adams, alongside Mel C, now announced to play the Friday edition and help out. Gorillaz, big fan. They are going to be putting together a series of live shows where they're going to be playing albums in full. They've done this before, but not with a series of different albums. They've kind of focused on one at a time. They've got a series of them showing up in August, going into September, including the final show on September 3rd, a mystery. No album associated with it. Maybe something new coming out? Who knows? They're always full of mysteries, but that's it for your music news this morning. On the phone line with me right now, this is super exciting. Big congratulations has to go to you. I've got to get be the next in line to give congratulations to our big winner, Jacob Lewis, winner of Canada's Got Talent, just announced on the 13th of May. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks, Steve. I'm doing well. It's been an exciting time. Trying to navigate through this now has been fun, but it's been great, you know. But some of the things that kind of come with this has been wonderful, like to be able to wake up in the morning now that have that financial stress kind of eliminated with that $1 million price tag from Rogers has been absolutely amazing. Still kind of in shock, to be honest.
I can't imagine that. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, but still, at least you're probably waking up and having a nice deep breath of relief every morning now, you know, a little bit of the pressure off, but then also the pressure kind of goes back on in a different way. I'm sure people have told you this, but I didn't know this until I actually looked into it this morning. You're the winner of the largest cash prize on Canadian television ever with this $1 million. That's insane.
it's been a wild time, and it really is insane.
Yeah, history being made for you, man. So clearly that's life-changing money, but what changes have you already thought about? Recording studio, traveling the world, taking care of family, a lot to think about, but where's your head at?
So it's kind of been all over the place. But when it comes to work, and I'm looking at this as a career now, that has to get dialed in. So I am working on some things, an upcoming show now in a few weeks in St. John's here, and so that's kind of where I'm headed on the business side of things. I've got to give this the opportunity that it deserves now to come with the price tag to be able to help me out. So if I don't take this opportunity now and give it a shot, I'll be looking back at my life at a later time and being like, well, maybe I should have given it a chance. So I'm going to give it a chance.
Yeah.
And I hope that when some stuff comes out, you guys give it the spins and it goes that way.
Oh, hey, we would love to. Yeah, that's a for sure thing. We got a lot of support for you here in Fort McMurray. You've worked in oil and gas in Newfoundland, and while you've been dreaming about singing full time, but. That kind of biography de facto makes you have a connection with Fort McMurray, but it's more than that. Tell me about your Fort Mac Connect.
My mom is living up there, so my mom is up in Fort McMurray, so she might be listening now. So if she's listening, hello, Mom.
Yeah, hello, Mom.
But, no, it's been a pretty cool time, and I've traveled up to Fort McMurray for work before as well. So it's been a close place also, but that's kind of how this oil and gas industry goes, right? You travel to where the work is at the time, and you keep going. But right now, the work for me is hopefully behind the microphone somewhere, so I'm going to give this the shot that it deserves. Yeah,
exactly. The grease stains, they'll disappear.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I might have a few projects of my own that I'll kick on. But, from
the garage and from the driveway is a different story, but yeah, it's so cool. I'm sure Mom's been
100%.
I'm sure Mom was flipping out, a huge supporter of you, and she must have just been thrilled about the news. I am talking to Jacob Lewis of Butlerville, Newfoundland, and the winner of Canada's Got Talent just recently, all of a couple of weeks ago, winning the biggest prize in Canadian TV game show or reality competition history. Just wild, absolutely wild. And we were just talking about how excited Mom must be, and how much support that you've gotten from her, and here in Fort McMurray, your local connection. It's just so cool.
Oh yeah, she's been extremely excited. She's quite over the moon for this, no doubt about that.
What about the rest of the family? How excited is everybody?
Everyone's really excited. My kids have settled down a little bit here now, so they're back into their routine, and it's nice to be able to be, when I am home now, to be that little bit more mentally present. Like I said, that financial stress is going off your head, so that's something that a lot of people deal with, and you have on your mind all the time. Where's this coming from next week? And but luckily enough now, our family is in the situation that we can be more present within our home when we're here, and do the best that we can, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean,
we're getting the service dog at some point for one of my sons, so that's another thing that we're kind of trying to navigate. So
yeah, that's so fantastic. Just be able to be present and be able to have the means to support in a way that you couldn't before necessarily. That's so cool. Canada's behind you big time. There's a lot of love for you here in Fort McMurray. Now, I'm not going to add to the anxiety and ask you, when's your next album coming out? What's next? But I will say that we're excited about whatever does come next.
Sounds good. Well, I really appreciate that. There are some stuff in the mix now, so hopefully some things will be popping out really soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully it hits your airwaves when it does.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know where we're at, and you just stay in touch, my friend. Now, one last question for you before I let you go. Who was your favorite judge, and why was it Shania?
Shania is my favorite judge. Yeah. One, she gave me that golden buzzer, which helped me out at a time that I really needed it.
Well, yeah.
The other part is I grew up watching CMT as a kid, and Shania Twain always being on that was quite amazing. So it was pretty easy to go up there and to be a fan of hers.
Yeah.
To see there with her, I knew that right off the get-go she was going to be the one that I would like.
Yeah, I would have been melting if I was in your shoes seeing her in real life. Thank you so much, Jacob Lewis, big-time winner of Canada's Got Talent, winner of the biggest prize on Canadian TV ever. Congratulations, man, and I can't wait to see the future here.
Thank you very much. And to all you listeners out there, if you tuned in and watched the show and voted, thank you. It's been greatly appreciated. All the best to you guys.
That's incredible. Thanks, man, and have a great day.
Wednesday.
What obscure competition do you want a shot at? A question inspired by the Cooper's Hill cheese roll, which has just been a fascinating thing for me for so many years, and it happened once again and has gone viral once again because you just get the best slow motion footage experience watching these people literally hurl themselves down a steep hill to try and get some cheese. And that is a draw, a desire that I can understand. Although some people do get legitimately injured from it. The actual winner of one of the heats, one of the races, one of the rolls down the hill, was a repeat winner. He did it last year, did it again this year. I mean, that's a big feat, but he's holding up the cheese wheel, the winning prize, the trophy, and he's just bleeding from his side, just like smeared blood. But there was a guy that went a little bit more viral, a little bit more infamous. Flying guy, don't really know the guy's name. But he has inspired a great number of people on the internet to go, oh my God, is that guy okay? Like, is he okay? Because he was legit flying down the hill. At one point catching air for way too many seconds, landing right on his back and then just sliding for a while. People got several angles. They got the good footage and the confirmation as well that while 2 people did get taken to hospital for injuries during the entire event this year, that guy wasn't one of them. He was treated on site. So, he must have been decent. Or, maybe just dense enough to not realize how hurt he was. I feel like that might be part of it in people's daze and stupor as they're trying to come out of what just happened to them, rolling down the hill just like that wheel did seconds before them.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
So Mark Hoppus of Blink-182, he doesn't tweet that often. Like once a month or so, he'll jump in and toss something weird at us. The latest is him saying that sometimes he turns on the Last of Us game, the video game, gets to a spot where he's safe, but he can still hear the screams of the post-apocalyptic terror that's taking place, and he sets the game down and just says he enjoys the vibe. This seems on brand, and as somebody who, it seems unhinged at first, but as somebody who does put on a horror movie to relax to, I kind of get it on a level. ABBA, celebrating the 3rd year of their ABBA Voyage show with the infamous Avatars, the not real performers, touring around. It's been 3 years, and they've actually got a brand new bag. They got a new set list with special performances from Elvis Costello, Guy Garvey, and more that has been added into it. And the new set list has got new special effects and updated resolution for the actual figures on stage. But of course, no actual performers, which is the weird thing. Queens of the Stone Age have finally made good on all of this hype over their playing in the catacombs in Paris. The first band to make a major production out of it, but it's going to be screening across the globe at limited events with an intimate behind-the-scenes documentary included as well. It's going to be premiering on June 5th. Official trailer is being released, but no word on exactly where it's going to be showing up just yet. And that's it for your music news this morning. The Monarchs. It was a rather short visit. They kind of usually are these days. No longer are they these week-long affairs. This tour was like less than 24 hours with Charles and Camilla. King Charles, Queen Camilla, touching down, having a chat with the Prime Minister and doing a bunch of other things. Apparently, first as king, 20th visit to the country overall. First official tour in that capacity. And all I can think about with all of the news and all the footage and all the coverage that has happened with this visit is about the South Park bit, about the Canadian royal wedding. You know the one.
Prince makes his way down the aisle, led by the Bishop of Newfoundland. People in attendance now gently tossing Captain Crunch as the prince passes by. As, of course, is tradition.
And, of course, the fictional tragedy that befell that wedding.
Canadians in attendance cannot believe their eyes. Widespread panic. The princess being hoisted away. The little mushroom people of Nova Scotia screaming with horror. This is indeed a horrible day for Canada, and therefore the rest of the world.
Thankfully, nothing of the kind happened with this visit.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.